Good evening, everybody. This is Robin with another edition of Horror Pop After Midnight, and my guest is filmmaker Chris Leto and actress Jackie Smith. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
I checked out a trailer of your indie slasher horror film, The Bombshell Butcher. So, Chris, tell me a little bit about The Bombshell Butcher.
The Bombshell Butcher is it's more a thriller than horror, I think. I mean, there's not even really that much gore, really.
Okay, thriller horror.
It's a horror thriller.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Horror thriller. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
about a serial killer that's in a small town called Boresville, and obviously everything is very boring in this town, and so this is a big news for the town that a serial killer is going around, and it just so happens to be the journalist that's working for the newspaper trying to create some news. It's a fun movie. It's Jackie's amazing in it, so we can have her say some stuff because she's fantastic in it. The way she goes back and forth between kind of the nerdy journalist girl to the serial killer girl is like it's night and day, and she was just fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better actress to play this role.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Of course.
So, Jackie, you play the nerdy journalist Candace Smith, who's also a serial killer. So how'd you prepare for the role? And was there some scenes where you had to like turn it on and off from going to playing a serious serial killer to to the nice journalist? And what were some of your preparations to play a dual character like that in the film?
Yeah, that's a great question. This character was really unique because she does have both sides, and I've always loved playing the horror side of things, so I feel that I was already kind of prepped for that scary part. I've done a lot of horror similar to that, and I just feel like that's my thing, and I really love that dark, scary side. But just playing the regular, typical office girl that was, just kind of really tired of her job and kind of figuring out ways to save it and stumbling across something like murdering people. I think that was perfect. But preparation-wise, I mean, really you just have to know your lines. This was a very dialogue-heavy film. Chris and Adam, I believe Adam also helped.
Yeah, Adam Shipley.
So, yeah, Adam Shipley was talking to me a little bit about it too. But, I mean, there's a lot of heavy dialogue, and I think if you know your lines, you can really get into that character just very, very well. And, of course, my partner and co-star, Chuck Fusca, he helped me a lot. We had a lot of scenes together, which helped. So we kind of prepped every day. Even to the point where it's like we're in the car, we're in the middle of doing something completely unrelated, and we're running lines. We'll just randomly say a line from a scene, and we'll go from there, and just kind of helping each other. So that helped a lot, I would say.
And that was huge in the casting portion because I got a huge response for the lead role of Candace, and we put a casting out, and I probably got, I'd say maybe 35 people auditioned for that role. And I loved Jackie right off the bat. Like I would say she was definitely in the top 3 of all the other people. And then her having Chuck as her boyfriend, we love Chuck for Jeff, and having them together as an actual couple, I figured like these people are going to be able to, play off each other. They already have chemistry. So that was a huge factor in casting Jackie. And I'm so happy I did. Like the two of them together were outstanding. Like they were just the chemistry of them both was fantastic through the whole movie. And there's some sad stuff that happens, but we won't give that away. But it was definitely fun having them on set together, and a lot of fun. We like to have fun on set, but we're also there to do a job. And we have fun in between takes, but then right when we start to shoot, everybody's in character and ready to go. And I couldn't ask for more professional people than Jackie and Chuck.
So, Jackie, did you do some research on serial killers and how to kill somebody to prepare for that role?
So I had just done a film. I've done a lot of films where I'm killing people. I feel like that's my. I feel like I was pretty versed in it. It is still hard because it was very different, I would say, because this character had a lot of depth and different sides, so she kind of had to play it off. Like, she knows what she's doing, obviously. Not the first time, not to give it away, but yeah, I'm really bad at this because I just give away spoilers. But yeah, I feel like it did take a little bit different of preparation than a typical, you're just a bad killer, because there's all that depth to it. So I think getting into that headspace is a challenge, and it was especially challenging on days where we were filming both. It wasn't just the killer day. It was half the day is you're a killer, and then you're flip-flopping back to the office person, and then back and forth. And that was more of a challenge to me than just like being in one character the whole time, because the character has so much depth that it flip-flopped back and forth quite often. And with our film days, it was like, okay, we'll shoot this office scene where you're this boring person, and you hate your office job, whatever, and then you're going to go murder people, and then we're going to go back to this. So finding that was definitely challenging, but it was really fun, and I really loved that challenge, truly.
Yeah,
the makeup stuff was probably the biggest challenge, because it was like, I know Jackie hated me because it was like she would have to be plain Jane office girl, and then get all dolled up for the butcher, and then back to being plain Jane in the same day. And so she was constantly, we tried to schedule it as best we could to where she didn't have to put makeup on, take makeup off, put makeup back on. But, sometimes it didn't work out that way, but we tried our best to help her out. But yeah, that was definitely a challenge to the makeup stuff. And that's just things you don't really think about when you're writing the script and putting the shoot schedule together and all that. That's something you don't really think about. Oh man, she's gonna have to put makeup on 3 different times in this day. And so we were constantly trying to juggle things around to where she didn't have to do that. And for the most part, I think we did okay. There was a couple days where, we definitely had to flip-flop the makeup. But, it was a really fun time. We had a really good time shooting this movie. We had some long days, that's for sure. I think we had a 17-hour day and a 15-hour day, and that was rough. It's just the budgets that we have to work with. We try to shoot our movies in 4 to 5 days, and most of the time we're 12 hours usually. But on this one, there were so many different setups and different, again, makeup changes and character changes and all that stuff that we ran over. Yeah. And those days, they were long. We're tired at the end of the day. But I don't feel like the performance has suffered after usually when you're going past 12 hours, the performances start to suffer a little bit. The cameraman starts to suffer a little bit because, everybody's tired. But Jackie, we all complained, but when we said action, she was on point. And, I know it was tough, but we got through it, and I think we got a pretty good product.
Yeah, when I watched the trailer, I'm a big fan of cinematography because I have a lot of friends who are camera operators in cinematography. And one of my favorite shots was in the trailer. I loved it because the scene where you see, Jackie as the Bombshell butcher, wearing like the little 60s styles glasses, and she's all dark, and you see her walking the hills. And I love that zoom shot where you get her walking down this dark alley where she's getting ready to take care of some business. That was a very powerful, intimate shot. It really gets you feeling making you feel what the serial killer's really feeling, because she's going to get ready to do something crazy. And I just love that shot because you can feel the intimate of that character with the high heels clacking on the sidewalk. I just like that noir shot.
Yeah, my inspiration for that was for the way she looked was Dress to Kill. If you ever saw Dress to Kill.
I was going to get ready to say that with Michael Caine and Angie Dickinson.
That was definitely one of the inspirations. The glasses and the trench coat and all that. So I think she pulled it off for sure. We went with white sunglasses. I think she had black sunglasses in the movie. But we went with the white because I wanted the glasses to pop a little bit on camera, and she looks really cool in the she looks really cool in the butcher outfit. And the thing, just the way that she's different. Like you'll see when you see the movie, it's almost like they're two different people. Like she goes from like the nasally, nerdy girl in the office, and even when she's with her friend or whatever out of the office, she's kind of got that almost goofiness to her, which is what we wanted. And then when she's in the butcher, I mean, she is no nonsense. You know, she's got like almost like rage inside her, and it comes out on camera. Like there's a scene in a kitchen that is amazing. Like it's probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh God.
Yeah. The scene with Craig, it's freaking awesome. Like, I can't wait for everybody to see that scene. It's very disturbing.
I feel like what's really cool about this character just in general, and you mentioned the scene walking, like the heels, and that was very powerful. Like, that scene was at a bar. I think we shot that outside of the bar, that one, walking with the street behind it. And I feel like when she's in the butcher outfit, she's very calculated and...
Yes.
Purposeful, and she knows what's going on. Like, she is full-blown manipulative and crazy. She's trying to be one step ahead, and it really shows in a lot of different ways. The kitchen scene is more, not to give anything away, but more scary and like assertive and aggressive, whereas the scene
very serious
in the bar is more the sexy side, where she's trying to be like seductive because she knows where it's going as far as like where it ends, even though the other person doesn't. So there's a lot of different layers to the character that shows such a wide range of emotions, and I just really loved that about this script. So for me, that was so much fun.
So where'd you guys shoot the small town? It gave you like an Americana small town feel a little bit.
Yeah, there's a town called Newport Richey that we in Florida that we shot it in. I was looking for an office, and I put an ad up on this group that's got like 25,000 people in it, and they're all small business owners and just people trying to help each other. So I posted in there looking for an office, and this lady, said that we could use her office, and it was in Newport Richey, and it's like this little. I mean, Newport Richey is kind of a bigger city, but the main part of the city, I guess they call it downtown Newport Richey, which is like this little baby town, but it's got that small town feel to it. And we really didn't shoot a lot of stuff outside, though. I would say 85%, 90% of the movie's inside, in buildings and bars and office. And we only shot really, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 scenes. And one of them we shot in Ybor City, which is kind of a bar district, a nightclub district, and we found an alley back there, which turned out to be a nightmare. It smelled like really bad. There's a lot of homeless people that live in there, and the smell was god-awful. But yeah, we shot in Ybor City, Newport Richey, and then there was a bar in Tampa. We had another place in Gulfport that we used. There was a strip club that we shot in.
An airport. We shot it.
Oh yeah, we shot outside the St. Pete Clearwater Airport. So there was a bunch of different little places, but again, 85% of the movie is all inside, and that's why we shot. I usually don't try to shoot stuff in June or July or August because it's so hot. And we actually shot this in June, right? I think it was June. Yeah, we shot it in June, and I was like, most of the stuff's inside, so I think we can handle it. And all the outside stuff was at night mostly, so I didn't have a problem shooting it. But we have another movie coming up in November called Creeper in the Woods, and Jackie and Chuck are both in it also. Ooh. And, we're shooting that one in November, so it's going to be a little cooler outside, and that one the whole movie takes place in the woods. So that's going to be interesting.
Hey, you got me at that.
I'm trying to scout woods, and I'm like, who the hell decided to shoot a movie in the woods? Like, it's ridiculous. But this is definitely going to be a challenge. But I think we can do it.
If you ever decide to ever shoot a horror film, you should come over to the Midwest, like in Ohio or in the Indiana area. It's a hotbed
I'd love
for.
to shoot some upstairs.
Yeah, it's.
I'd love to shoot something up north, like in the mountains or something.
Yeah.
We don't have mountains here. We have like hills, I guess, but no mountains.
Yeah, we're looking at our next film that I'm helping produce that Chuck wrote and has been working on called Deacon's Walk, and we're hoping to shoot in the Carolinas somewhere, probably.
Nice. That's cool.
That's awesome because, like I said, where I'm at, it's a hotbed for indie horror filmmaking. There's so much indie horror film being filmed in like Ohio and Indiana, Kentucky, and especially what you said, North Carolina as well. There's a hotbed for that too. I mean, that's where everybody's shooting indie horror. It's like out in the Midwest. It just has that authentic feel to it than shooting somewhere that doesn't have like no mountains or like hardly any woods. You just want that real authentic feeling.
Right. And that's a huge challenge here in Florida. I mean, when you think of Florida, you think of beaches and you think of, all the sports teams and you think of, all these things. And it's kind of a struggle to find locations here that are cinematic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why we a lot of people shoot stuff in Ybor City because it's got the brick walls, the brick roads, and it looks really cool on camera. But I've been really struggling finding woods and to shoot in for this movie in November. And I did find a place last week that I think is going to work for us. But it was hard because a lot of the woods are overgrown with brush and we have like palmetto plants that grow everywhere and they're like sharp, they got razors on them and stuff. And it seems like all the woods I was looking at were just inundated with those and you couldn't navigate through them. But I did find a place last week that it's pretty good. But yeah, it's a struggle to find locations here for some reason. Everything's flat.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of
So
we try our best to find cool places, but it's hard.
So Jackie, since you were playing a serial killer in this film, how much preparation and training did you do to do some of the choreography for like the killings? With the weaponry and all that great stuff.
Not a lot. We kind of figured it out day of. And
it was like OJT, right?
Yeah, we we walked through a couple things quite a few times, and I'm someone as an actor that, in order for me to be fully in it, like I need to kind of know where I'm stepping, where I'm walking, you know what I mean? Because I'm very active on the crew side of things, so I know where I need to be for camera and what works and what doesn't work. So if I don't have an idea of that, it's hard. It's a challenge for me. So I think Chris probably saw a lot of that because every time he's like, "Oh, okay, like this," and I'm like, "Okay, but where should I be stepping? Like, where do you want me to?"
Right. How should I hold the knife? What should I do with the knife?
Exactly, and I know that we got it. It didn't really waste any time, I would say. We kind of just like walked through it, like myself and the other actors for some of the actual bombshell scenes. Any actor I was killing or interacting with for any of the butcher scenes was it was walked through prior to rolling, and then it was kind of just natural from there. And a lot of things happened kind of unexpected that we ended up liking, and then we shot more of if we liked it because it just kind of authentically happened, like that kitchen scene you're talking about where there's different angles we ended up liking, following the gun, things like that. So I think it's really just we had to get a feel for it day of, and it wasn't something that we planned ahead of time as far as choreography goes, and it worked out really well because of it.
Yeah, Chris, tell me about the music score, because every good horror film has a great music score. It makes the mood of the film, and sometimes it could be a character in the film as well. So who did your guys' music score?
I got a guy named Blake Best to do the score. I was looking for someone to score my another movie, and he had reached out, and I had already decided on someone when he reached out to me. So this time, I gave him he asked if he could do it. Actually, we had someone that was going to score it and they couldn't do it. So then I reached out to him and asked him if he would like to do it. And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So I wanted to go for that 80s slasher vibe. and he nailed it. Actually, I was just talking to him earlier about the music, and he did everything I asked him to do, and I think the score is really cool. Like, we got some really cool music in this movie. So I hope everybody likes it.
Now, Jackie, you said earlier you're like drawn to like horror films and horror film roles, and you like to kill a lot. So, what keeps on urging you and dragging you into the world of horror and end up being a killer and having fun killing?
That's a great question. Maybe I sounded a little crazy there. I really like drama, I will say, and I've always really liked horror. I think by me liking horror, it also helps me feel less scared watching horror, so that's part of it. But also, I feel like it's easier for me to get into character, just because I am very much a dramatic actor, I feel, and any kind of role that's very serious or scary, I feel like that is definitely my, that's my lane. That's where I fit in best, although I do a lot of comedy stuff too. It's just, it's fun for me because it's so different from my personality. And as an actor, I don't want to be who I am every day. I don't know if people would want to watch that character, but I really...
One of the things that was kind of funny to watch was, when you look at Jackie, she's obviously a very attractive person.
Oh yeah, she is. She's a little cutie. Yes.
You just assume that she knows how to be sexy, and she struggled with some of the, trying to, because there's a couple scenes where she's getting herself made up in the bathroom, and she's in a bra. She's trying to, I'm trying to get that sexiness out of her.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to do it, but she did it, but and she pulled it off. But she didn't like it.
Yeah. No,
I think she feels like weird trying to be like that. Because I don't think she's really like that in person. Like Jackie's actually a really funny person and real kind of like her personality is more goofy than anything, and so that's why we had a lot of fun on set. But when she had to be sexy, you could tell she was not liking it.
It's for me. I'm so glad you brought that up because and here's the thing. I feel like, and not to sound, crazy or anything, but I feel like I do that role well, but I hate doing it. Like that.
I gotcha.
I feel like
she didn't like it.
The best scene that turned out in the whole film that I haven't even seen it yet is probably the bar scene where I have to be really sexy. And but I hated it because I just, for so many...
the dialogue was so cheesy too. Like,
the dialogue's crazy, but also just like, I feel, I don't know, I just feel odd, and I am very goofy, and I am very silly, and a lot of people are like, oh, she's really hot, she does all this kind of role, and I'm just not like that. Like, I don't like taking a lot of sexy roles because I don't want to be labeled that way either.
Right.
So it's good that, like, I know that other people don't see me that way, so when I try to do a sexy role, I'm so awkward, and I'm just like, this feels really weird.
That's the perfect word, awkward.
Yeah, it's very awkward.
But it doesn't show on camera. Like, she really pulled it off.
I switch it on and off when we're...
Yeah, she really pulled it off. And that bar scene that she was talking about, it was so she's going in there trying to be sexy, and she knows something's going on, and she's there to pick this guy up. And think of every horrible, cheesy line a guy could say to pick some girl up, and we were like, all right, let's say that, and it was just like, when it worked, because obviously she was there to pick him up, so whatever he said, it was going to work. And just the surprise on his face that it actually worked is like, it's hilarious, because it's so bad, like the lines he was using.
And who was that? Brandon Borg.
Yeah, Brandon Baruch.
Baruch, yeah, he's a great actor. So
he's very great facial feature. He's a great facial actor. Like, his facial reactions and stuff were really good. But yeah, that was a interesting scene.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Chuck's character, Jeff Johnson. Who plays Candace Smith's assistant. So, since you guys, like you were saying earlier, and you guys are like, oh, there he is.
There he is.
So,
Man.
so, you guys are like dating in real life and all that, and you guys are, playing, like, opposites and all that. So, how comfortable are you guys when you guys are together and shooting certain scenes? Are you guys like dead on, or is there sometimes you guys kind of feel awkward during certain scenes, or what?
I think we should talk about the first time we met, because that's probably, I think that was more awkward than anything.
What?
I mean, we met on a set, so
Okay.
I feel like I was literally playing the role of his dream girl when we met. So like, I was in a swimsuit, he was in a pool, so we got very comfortable acting together.
And it was that exact thing you guys were just talking about, like having her be really sexy and like. It was like a Fast Time at Ridgemont High kind of a scene, and she's in the pool and all that kind of thing. But no, I don't think in this, because I think you guys talked about it earlier. We were prepared, and we kind of already had different things worked out, and we knew what we were going to try there. So I don't think anything necessarily that we had was awkward. I mean, we had a lot of fun, like comedic dialogue, I guess. If you look at the movie as a whole, and Chris can attest to this, it's like there's and even with the color scheme and everything, there's like a dark side, and there's like The Office, and everything in The Office, there's a lot of like, there's a comedic element to it, and so we're just basically riffing on each other in The Office for most of our scenes together, except for, a couple other memorable, unmentionable ones.
Hey, that's a good answer. Good answer. Like I said, that's a very good answer. So, since you guys are getting ready to show it, are you guys going to be showing it like at festivals, or are you guys going to?
No. So I signed a 4 movie deal with a streaming channel, and
okay.
This is the second movie, or actually this is the first movie for that 4-picture deal. So we're having a little premiere at our local theater. And then it gets shipped off to them, and then they do the rest. They put it on streaming channels or whatever they're going to do with it. I have another movie with this streaming channel called Man in the Blue Suit that's going to be released on November 5th, I believe, and I have no clue where it's going to be.
So since it's going through this,
make the movie and give it to them, which is what I want to do. I hate dealing with the after the movie's finished stuff, like marketing it and trying to make money on it. Like, I hate it. So they gave me money to make the movie, and I'm giving it to them to do all of that, all the things I don't like to do. So it works out for me. So
will it eventually go into physical media as well if it does really well?
I don't think they're going to have a physical release. I could be wrong, but like I said, I have no idea what they're going to do with the movie. I give it to them, and they take it over. All I know is it's going to be on streaming channels all over the place, and I don't know if they'll do a physical release or not. I would say probably no.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to ask. I mean, sometimes
I'd love to have a physical release, but
yeah,
it's just not in the cards in these days. Physical is kind of going away. I know the hardcore horror people like to collect the movies and stuff, but it's just not the way the world's working right now, unfortunately.
So, Jackie, if you decided to write a horror film where you added, Chris and Chuck in it, what type of film would that be if it was like really
a bad one? Because I'm a horrible actor.
If I were to put both of them in the film?
Yes.
Oh gosh. Okay. Wow, way to put me on the spot. Like, something I have to think about. I feel like, no offense, Chris. I feel like Chris would be like some kind
boring guy.
Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like Chris would be some kind of killer in the film of some sort. I feel like he could play that character.
I've seen Chris kind of play the killer, kind of off camera at times. Like, I've seen him.
Really? Chris is a killer off camera?
Well, all right, he's a killer. But I've seen him play a bad guy off camera.
Chris is super nice and very different than I thought he would be when I met him originally, but I feel like I would write him in as a killer for sure. Some kind of killer, or one that's unexpected. He would have like a regular job, day job, or like a janitor.
Like a journalist?
No, not like a journalist, like a janitor, or like something like that. And he would be a killer. Chuck would be some kind of
Not killer.
comedy relief in the film, I think.
There you
For
Are you
sure.
typecast as the comic relief, Chuck?
I don't know, something like that.
Actually, you were pretty damn good in Pumpkin that I watched yesterday. I was like, what? I was like, is that Chuck? I was watching it on my phone, and it wouldn't rotate so I could watch it full screen. So I'm watching it on this little thing, and I'm looking, and I'm like, is that Chuck?
Yeah.
And then it get it a little close up. I was like, holy shit, that is Chuck. And you were awesome. Like, you were completely different from everything I've ever seen you in. So, not that I've seen you in a lot of stuff, but, all the stuff that I've seen you in, I was just like, wow, Chuck's got some chops.
Chuck does.
That was fun.
Chuck, you did have some chops playing that agent in Pumpkin. I mean, I watched it today, and you like your tense and intimate role in that with your main actress, who was Pumpkin. I mean, that really got intense, man. That kept me on the edge of my seat because you didn't know what was going through there. And Chuck, I liked your little accent. It kind of reminded me of Val Kilmer / Tim Rosen Doc Holliday accent. You're more like a Doc Holliday agent,
That might be the mustache more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of chops, you guys need to check out another short he did recently called There's No Dog Like Jehovah. He has huge lamb chops on the side of his face.
Chuck's like Samuel Jackson with his hair. Samuel Jackson's got different hair in every movie. Chuck's got either.
That's him, literally, yeah.
Man,
Chris, I do. I'm determined that that's the case in every movie.
It'll be the
facial hair and my hair to be different.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm waiting for Chuck to do a independent action film like a Scott Adkins type of character. I can picture him pulling that off.
All right, Chris, help me out, man.
Crocodilus. You were kind of an action star in Crocodilus a little bit.
No, you should see what's
Did you see Crocodilus mating season?
No, I definitely need to check this out. Sounds fun.
Oh my god, it's so funny, dude. It's so funny. Chuck is so
like a
funny in that movie.
Naked Gun scary movie kind of.
Yeah, it's like exactly. It's a Naked Gun spoofy horror movie. It's so funny. Chuck is actually. I was watching it in my chair at my computer, just laughing, like out loud.
If you want to watch a funny indie horror film, I mean, it's like gory, but it's like comical. I was laughing through the whole thing. You guys got to watch Crack-Coon, about raccoon on crack.
Raccoons do what?
It's called Crack-Coon.
And what do they do? Raccoons on crack?
Yeah, it's a raccoon that goes on. Gets involved with this experimental drug and goes around killing drug dealers, campers.
But that's raccoons on crack. That's pretty
like Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, Cocaine Bear was great, and then of course you gotta like. Of course, you got to like Slaughterhouse about the sloth killing the sorority girls in the sorority house.
My God, you like that movie?
I thought it was funny, cheesy fun, man.
That was horrible. It was so bad. I don't even know how I watched the whole thing. I was just like, why am I watching this movie?
Hey, you did, so. I mean, it's like no Terrifier, but.
Yeah.
But where can everybody find you guys on social media, and when to know when the Bombshell Butcher is going to come out?
Yeah, we're I got a page, Reaper Films horror productions group page, and they can join that and follow all our stuff. That's where I pretty much promote everything. That's it. I don't have a website or anything like that. Like I said, I hate marketing, so I'm like, I try to do it as much as I can, but I hate it. I hate, hey, watch this, or look at this, or buy this. I can't stand it.
You get yourself a little film student who can get credit and do all that for you.
Yeah, I know, right? I need to.
So, where can everybody find you guys, Jackie and Chuck?
My Instagram is actress Jackie Smith. You can find me that way on Facebook, Instagram. I do some casting stuff too. And I'll definitely be posting about release dates for Bombshell. We have our premiere coming up. Hopefully if this hurricane tomorrow night doesn't wipe out all of Tampa, then we should still be on for Sunday the 13th. A link to get tickets for that, and I'll definitely be posting that, and when it does release and where as well.
Yeah, and I would Instagram Chuck Fusca, Fusca, Chuck Fusca.
Now, before we get off, Chris, before we got on, you were talking about how close the hurricane's coming close to you, and then you were talking about something to do with an Indian burial ground.
Oh yeah, there's a legend that there's an Indian burial ground in Oldmar that basically keeps the hurricanes away from us. Because like I said, we haven't had a direct hit in Tampa since 1921, so it's been a long time, and they always just seem like they're coming towards us, and then they miss us. So
you're knocking on wood, man. You're knocking on wood.
I know, right? Hoping. It's funny because me and my dad were at lunch last week, and we were talking, and he brought that up because we were talking about Helene, how it missed us.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, there hasn't been one since this time or whatever. So I called him yesterday, and I'm like, so when like someone's throwing a no-hitter in baseball, you're not supposed to talk about it. And if somebody's perfect field goal kicking, you don't say, hey, he hasn't missed one all year. Cause then he's
That's what I was thinking when you said that.
So I go, why would you talk about the hurricane not hitting Tampa during hurricane season? Like, you just jinxed it. But I don't know. The last track I saw, it seems like it's going south a little bit. So hopefully,
I hope it misses you guys, because like I said, that's not pretty once it hits. I mean,
if it hits Tampa, it'll be devastating. Like, there's so many people that live in Tampa, and I mean, all our stuff's in Tampa. All our stadiums, all our everything that there is to do is in Tampa. So hopefully it doesn't hit there. It would be good if it went up again and hit the places that have already been hit, instead of destroying more places. And I feel bad for the places that it's hit, because the last 3 have hit in the same place, and it's crazy. I don't ever remember hurricanes coming up like this before. They've been like one after the next, and it seems like all within a short period of time too. It's like there's still tons of debris all over the sides of the roads that people lost their houses, and they're bringing all their furniture and everything out to the curb, and it's all still sitting out there. And now there's another storm coming. Like, it's not good. It's not a good situation. But we'll get through it hopefully, and everybody will be okay.
You guys, thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast to talk about the Bombshell Butcher.
Thanks. Appreciate you having us. Thanks for reaching out.
And everybody, thank you for listening to Horror Pop